Writing is a discipline. It requires focus, it requires your attention, it requires showing up on a regular basis. It's something, in truth, I've never had to struggle with because I love writing. I always have done. Writing my novel, writing short stories, etc. is something that I enjoy. I'm currently doing my MA in creative writing with the Open University, and I love it. I really absolutely love it. And I know some people do struggle to show up for their writing, even though it's something they want to do, even though they have this idea that they want to write a novel, etc., whatever it may be. Ultimately, writing is a journey and no one can do it for you. You have to show up and build that discipline, build that routine and process. There are 1,001 ideas out there for writing, and to do it this way and do it that way. You know what, there are few things that are a definite, like your punctuation and spelling, etc. But beyond that, it's about finding your own path, and no one can do it for you. But that being said, I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I do that make showing up for writing really easy. I cannot bear an untidy desk. I can't concentrate if my desk is strewn with papers and just stuff that shouldn't be there while I'm writing. I find it too distracting. So the first thing I do before I go to bed, or the last thing I suppose you could say I do, is make sure the desk is clear from that day. I get rid of everything. There's very few pieces of paper on my desk. In fact, the only paper is this post-it note. That's it. That's all that's there. So if an idea comes to me, I can just quickly write it down and it's done. Something else, I can just get it down on that notepad. But I always make sure my desk is clear, because that way there's no distractions. Always have a clear desk for writing. I use Scrivener for writing. Love that app. I will never ever use anything else. It is fantastic. Now, I have set it so that it will open up. So as soon as I turn on my computer, it will open up, and that is all that's in front of me. One of the things I really like about it is wherever I've left off the day before, that is where it will open up. Doesn't matter how many documents I've got in there, it won't just open up and land on some homepage. It will open up where I have left off. It's an excellent app for long form writing, for any kind of writing, but particularly novels, particularly really long form writing. And I love the way that it makes that so easy. I always make sure that that app opens up first. I turn off notifications. I do not want anybody texting me. I don't want any messages. I don't open social media. I do not open my email, because that's a rabbit hole all on its own. I always make sure the only thing is Scrivener. That's what's in front of me. That's what I'm working on. That's what has my attention for the next 2-3 hours. I can just get on with it and write, and I don't have to think about anything else. Unless the house is on fire, nothing else is that important. That is my time for writing. That is the thing that's in front of me. That has my focus. When that time is over, then I can look at everything else. I certainly don't look at social media, certainly don't look at email. That is what I feel makes a huge difference, because if you have everything else opening up, it's easy to get distracted. But if you only have that one thing, because that's what you're doing first thing in the morning, for example, you don't need to look at anything else. And that's the only thing that has my attention for that period of time. When I'm writing, I love having music on. So I get my cams out, I have Spotify, I've got this massive playlist that I've created with all sorts of neoclassical music in it, and I am well away. And that is all I've got going on in my ears, just playing away. And it's just what works for me. Just don't have any music that I want to dance to. That just doesn't work for me, because that's just going to get ugly real fast and nothing will get done. That's like right up there with opening your social media. I would say it's quite rare that I don't actually have any music playing when I'm writing. Certain types, it's usually neoclassical actually. Find your own way of creating that environment, that atmosphere. If you prefer silence, you might prefer white noise, doesn't matter what it is. It's just having that ambience that works for you. I always have music in my headphones, then I can have it as loud as I want. Then I don't drive anyone else mad. I always make sure I know what I'm working on beforehand. The last thing I want to do is arrive at my desk and then start asking myself questions. Oh, what am I doing today? Oh, was I supposed to be doing this or is it that? That would just drive me mad, because now I've sat there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, twiddling my thumb. I'm umming and ahhing, what am I supposed to be doing? That would just know that, you know what, oh my God, now I'm buffering, because I just find that too annoying. Really, really annoying. I need to know what I'm working on. That way I can come to my desk and just get on. And it makes the writing process so much more enjoyable. I know some people talk about, oh, you know, they're terrified of the white page, the blank page. I think when you don't know what you're working on, I think that's what can make that worse. Know where you want to be, know where you want to start. If you've already written something, if you've already got some work down and you know what you want to work on the next day, just aim straight for that. Make a note if necessary. This is what I like about when Scrivener opens up for me. That way it just opens up exactly where I've left it off. And sometimes if it's a really, you know, if I've got several thousand words on the page, then I will always make a little comment box that I can click on, and it will take me straight to that part in what I'm writing. But I always know what I want to work on that day. If something else comes up in terms of my writing that I realise actually needs working on, then I'll change. But either way, I always know what it is that I want to do. In Solutions for Writing by Sol Stein, he says writing is a discipline. It really is. Writing requires focus, it requires your attention, it requires you to show up regularly. And like I said earlier, no one else can do that for you. It's something you have to do for yourself. I'm lucky that I've just never had that struggle. It's not something I've ever had to struggle with. I enjoy it. It's something I've grown up with. There are things I struggle to do. Social media. Social media, me and social media. Oh my God. Yeah, that's my struggle. So when I think about people struggling with their writing, I always think, right, okay, I understand that, because, you know, social media and me, it's not that we're not friends. I would just rather be writing or painting, usually writing. I'd rather be writing than doing my social media. So that's my struggle. So it's not to say I don't have any. That really is, you know, I have recorded videos on videos on videos that I've never used. I have taken photos that I've never used. I mean, it's just mental. And that's one of the things I'm going to work on this year, to make sure that I take charge of, you know, turn it into something that I enjoy. It's not that I hate it, it's just that I would rather be writing. And so usually my writing can be a bit of an issue for other things. So when it comes to writing, no one can do it for you. No one can do my social media for me. I've got to do that myself. I've got to show up for it. So I understand. But you must make the time. You must, if you want that book to be written, please don't use AI to write your book. That is do you know what? I can't even have that conversation without buffering, because if you love writing, if writing really is, you know, writing your novel, building your world, getting to know your characters, if that is, oh my God, if that just excites you, why would you get AI to write it for you? I don't understand. Anyway, moving on real fast, because otherwise I'm gonna get on my soapbox. Too late. Anyway, moving on, because it's a conversation I can't have. Make that time, make that space for your work. Once you develop that routine on a regular basis, and I'm relaying this to me and my social media, once you create a routine and make it enjoyable, remove those blocks that make it, you know, the least line of resistance, anything that you can get out of your way, remove it and show up. Do what you need to. If it means lighting a candle, making sure you've got some tea, making sure you have a particular ambiance of music, do whatever you have to do, because no one can put those words on a page but you. and the satisfaction and the joy you will get once you've achieved that is going to be immense. So those are the things that I do. I have my app open up, I've got music that I play, I make sure my desk is clear, I know what I'm going to write, I get rid of all my notifications, I remove anything that can block me from arriving at my desk. I hope that it can give you ideas, and you know, if you really do struggle, let me know in the comments what it is that you perhaps struggle with the most when it comes to writing. But if there's anything I can share with you to help motivate and inspire you, because you know, like I said, I don't struggle with that. It's not something I struggle with, but I do struggle with my social media. So I do understand struggle. I'm not saying that I don't get it, because I do. I'm a human being and I understand that. So do let me know in the comments what you might struggle with, and let's see if we can't start a conversation about making our writing better. I'm Denver Shy, and this is The Shy Creative. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.